like liberals and lefties not wanting to vote for Biden because he's not as left wing as a lot of people would like him to be. I personally think Biden is too conservative for a Democrat uh, fucking politician. He's not nearly as left wing as I would like him to be. Um, and that's not even um, saying I expect him to be like as left wing as Bernie Sanders, because he didn't being that. He ran on being like a more moderate and like centristy Democrat uh, than Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and those other like more like progressive leaning Democrats, I guess you could say. Um, but he pretty much abandoned the public option. They when the Democrats controlled both Congress and the Senate, the House and the Senate. Technically, both the Senate and the House make up Congress, but you know what I'm saying. Um, they they promised a $2,000 check. They only paid 600. Um, and obviously, the big one that people bring up is um, Biden uh, uh, just really taking a blind eye, I guess you can say, to this whole Israel and Palestine thing, and now Iran is getting involved, and there's all kinds of chaos in the fucking Middle East as usual, and obviously there's still chaos in Europe as well, with the Russia and Ukraine thing, and like there's a lot of people on the left who have their gripes with Biden, and I'm one of them. I am. I get it. You know what? Uh, in it seems like really there's a true lack of a true um, left wing party. There's the Green Party, but like, come on, they're not even on the ballot in all 50 states. Um, so really, realistically, there's no left wing party in America. It's a center right party, the Democrats, and a far right, like radical rightist, white supremacist, neo Nazi, neo fascist, whatever you want to say. Um, so it's like diet Republic. It's Republican versus diet Republican, basically. Um, uh, and really, that's what it seems like. Again, I just don't think Biden is left wing enough to be a Democrat, at least not in the 2020s. I think the shit that conservatives say, "Oh, I'm not conservative. I'm a '90s Democrat." Well, I think that's actually true about Biden. I mean, he literally was a '90s Democrat. He was a senator in the '90s for the Democratic Party. So actually, a lot longer than the '90s, like the fucking like '60s or '70s or whatever the fuck. But yeah, he was around in the '90s, and you know, he would have in let's say in an alternate timeline where instead of um, if the governor of Arkansas at the time, Bill Clinton, didn't run against George H.W. Bush, and instead Senator Joe Biden from Delaware, if he ran against George H.W. Bush and won, he would have been a good um, president for back then. But like now, he's just way too conservative. But like again, at least for a Democrat, in my opinion, like I don't know. I just I just don't think he's fit for the Democratic Party. But that being said, with all my gripes I have against Joe Biden, and there are many, as I mentioned, and for all the lefts and like left-leaning liberals and etc., leftist, socialist, communist, um, pretty much anyone who's not anyone, but like a large chunk of the people who's left of center, um, dislike Biden, and I again I think for good reason. But that said, Donald Trump is threatening. Um, Donald Trump is a genuine threat to American democracy, in my opinion. Oh, but it's not a democracy. It's a fucking democratic republic or whatever. Yeah, as I said in my last video, idiots. A democratic republic is still a constitutional republic is still a democracy. I mean, it 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 has checks and balances, right? And it has a constitution and a bill of rights. So it's not like the classic criticism of democracy. Oh, uh, two wolves and a sheep. They have to vote what they have for dinner. Well, guess what they're gonna pick? It's you know it's not like that. So it's better than just whoever gets whatever the majority wants. That's what they get. There's certain things that are off the table. They're like there couldn't be an election where like do we want freedom of speech in this country or do we not? Like that wouldn't be on the ballot, and nor should it. Um, so yes, while it is a um, constitutional republic, it is still a democracy. Like no matter how you slice it, and I do think Trump is a threat to American democracy as we know it. Uh, not that it's not already on the fucking hang by a thread at this point, especially with the Supreme uh, Court recent ruling where they're basically made it illegal to um, protest, or at least in certain states, because certain states um, they basically made it illegal to protest, and the Supreme Court backed them on it. So, by the way, if Hillary Clinton had won in 2016, we would have a 6-3 liberal Supreme Court, and not a 6-3 conservative court like we have now. And I guess that segues into now that I'm done with all my rambling and setting this up, my overall point of this video, which is yes, Biden sucks, but Trump said he wants to terminate the Constitution. Trump said, "I'm gonna be a dictator, but only on day one." Trump has made all kinds of like suspect statements, like him always like cozying up to like these like authoritarian strongmen like Vladimir Putin, like Kim Jong Un, um, the Chinese president. Forget I forget how you say his name, but I'm a dumbass, so I'm a dumbass stoner, so I'm bad with remembering names, and then with foreign names, it especially it's hard for me, but um, the attempted insurrection and 20 in obviously in January 6, 2021. Um, uh, just like all these things, and like Trump thinks that if he's president, he can commit any crimes he wants. Look how many crimes he's committed. This guy is proven in a civil case, not convicted, but because it was a civil case, but he was proven in court to be a fraud artist, proven in court to be a fucking rapist. That's why he has to pay that girl $83 million because he raped her. But no, she was lying. It's all fake news. It's all a witch hunt. Yeehaw! Give me a fucking break. That's bullshit. And you know it. If you're a Trump supporter watching this, that's bullshit. Come on. And Trump's a criminal. Trump is a wannabe dictator. Trump. Trump is frankly not a very intelligent man. I'm I can be pretty a little overconfident. I'll just say that when it comes to my own intelligence. But like maybe I'm a dumbass who just sees himself as smarter than he really is. But I know for a fact I'm smarter than Trump. Come on, like at least I know you can't nuke a fucking hurricane, or that you can't cure COVID by injecting bleach into your skin. So I'm at least smart enough to know that. Like, come on. But my point is the supporters know all these things because they want to trigger the libs, or the Democrats are all demons who want to molest your children. Like, all that horseshit. But my point is of this video, of this now over 13-minute long fucking live stream, is that yes, Biden sucks, but Trump is a threat to democracy and is just straight up a horrible person. And if you live in a if you live in a fucking blue state or a red state, then vote fucking for authority if you want. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But if you're living in a blue state like me, then I don't see how you could vote for like fucking Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the fucking uh, anti-vaxxer nut job, and like um, I don't understand how you could vote Libertarian, because the Libertarian Party is fucking retarded. Seriously, they're not that bad on social issues. Actually, they tend to be more like progressive, I guess you can say, than most other conservatives. But they're and they do support legal weed, and they do tend to be more um, anti-war than the Republicans. But economically, their politics are horseshit, and like I mentioned earlier, the Green Party's not even on the ballot in all 50 states. So, yeah, if you live in a swing state, take it from someone who voted um, Green Party, voted Jill Stein in 2016. Um, it does nothing but help Republicans and help Donald Trump. I mean, yes, Biden hasn't gone on as far with the economic issues, and he pretty much abandoned the public option once he got in office, like I said. But you think Trump's gonna be better on those issues? Fuck no. He's gonna be so much worse on those issues, and like a million times worse. And he's gonna do a massive cut for the rich, which is gonna hurt the economy even more and cause inflation to go up even more. And you think Biden is bad on the whole Palestine Israel thing. Well, name a mainstream fucking politician who isn't. Like, even Bernie. Like, someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Bernie has yet to call for a ceasefire. Um, he danced around it. He's pretty much, he said, um, he's called for the end of the senseless killings, and he's used that, a bunch of he's obviously against the Israel and Palestine war, but he has yet to say the words or type it in on Twitter or whatever, ceasefire. That still has, unless I'm wrong, again, someone correct me, but I'm pretty sure Bernie has got to say the words, or write the words ceasefire. I could be wrong, and for him, it's probably a little awkward because he's Jewish, and like my understanding is like I'm not Jewish, but my understanding is if uh, in the Jewish community, if you don't support the Jewish state, you're seen as like a bad Jew or whatever. So like maybe that's part of the reason why he's been kind of iffy on this Israel and Palestine thing, or maybe he thinks it would ruin whatever goodwill he might have built up with Joe Biden and the Biden administration. But even Bernie has been not that not that good on this Israel and Palestine thing. Aside from a few handful of Democrats in the House, pretty much every politician, Democrat, Republican, Independent, they've been bad on this Israel Palestine issue, and they've been cheerleading Israel nonstop as they bomb civilians in Gaza, as they bomb hospitals, where when they tell Gazans and other Palestinians this is a safe place where you would evacuate before we start bombing it, they bomb that area. The Israeli government has committed a multitude of war crimes and like atrocities, and like not anyone sees this video where they're gonna say you support Hamas. You you were fine when you were happy when they did that fucking terrorist attack. I can't even remember how many months back. It seems like it's been going on forever, but no, I don't fucking support Hamas. Uh, Hamas is a brutal fucking theocratic fucking totalitarian regime. They were like elected in like I think like 2005, 2006, something like that, and they haven't had an election since. So no, I don't support Hamas, but I also don't support the fucking bombing of 6-year-old children or like 87-year-old grandmas who obviously aren't part of Hamas. I don't think um, everyone is guilt because they have a shitty government. That everyone is just as guilty because, in fact, that's the same logic that Hamas used to Israel in the first place. That realistic Israeli government, the people who voted them in, they're just as culpable, so they deserve to die too. Like that's the same logic that Hamas used, and that's the same logic Osama bin Laden used when he orchestrated the terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001, 9/11. That Americans prop up and support a government that kills uh, thousands of people in the Middle East, and therefore they're just as guilty and they deserve death too. That was Bin Laden's reasoning behind it. It wasn't because he hated our freedoms or whatever the fuck, like mainstream America from and like the mainstream politicians were saying like 20 fucking years ago. It was because Osama bin Laden feel that the American government was imperialist. Gee, where would he ever have a thought like that? What would ever make him feel that? But he felt that the American government was imperialist, and he felt that Americans who voted in that government were just as guilty. So they deserve to die on 9/11 too. That was Osama bin Laden's logic, and just like that logic is flawed, and just like Hamas's logic was flawed, and the logic is of we have to kill everyone in fucking Gaza and Palestine because they're just as guilty. They voted in Hamas. That's a lot an argument I hear a lot from conservatives and like pro Israel people. Like they voted in Hamas. Yes, they did, and in like 2005, and then they haven't had an election since. Surprise, surprise. When authoritarian despots, when they gain power, they usually they tend to hold on to it with a death grip. And you just yet going back to the point of the stream. Do I think Trump will become a dictator on day one? If I'm being honest, no. But can he fucking erode civil liberties? Particularly hurt women's rights, and that can hurt the rights of transgender folks and other LGBT folks, such as myself. And can he erode our the Constitution and the Bill of Rights even more than it already fucking has? Of course he can. Like, again, I think Trump wants to be a dictator, and he I think he, if there was any way he could attempt to do that, I think he would. That doesn't mean he would necessarily be successful, but why you fucking flip that coin? And on the Israel and Palestine, going back to the Israel and Palestine thing, like, do you think Trump would be any better on that issue? No. Like, at least Biden has asked for a temporary ceasefire. He should ask for a permanent ceasefire, but at least he asked for a temporary ceasefire to give aid to get the hostages released and to give aid to the Gazans who's been affected by this war. Trump wouldn't even do that. He would just say, blow him out to hell, kill every one of them. It's beautiful, tremendous. You know, that's what he would say. So, like, if you're like a liberal or a lefty, like considering not voting for Biden, well, or voting for a party, and you live in a swing state, well, then I got news for you. Trump is gonna be just as bad as Biden, but times 100 on this Israel and Palestine shit. So, uh, yeah, it just doesn't seem logical to me to, again, if you live in a blue or red state, then and you want to vote for a party, then I say, like, knock yourselves out. But if you live in a swing state like me, then I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like you're you're chewing up your own. You're chewing off your own face to spite your nose, or however the fucking expression goes. Like, you're like, you're allowing, um like such a worse person to be to gain power, just to fucking spite Biden and Democrats because they're not as good as on Palestine and Israel as you would like. And I'm right there with you, but again, Biden in a lot of ways has, even excluding the Israel and Palestine stuff, has been in some ways disappointing. Well, in a lot of ways disappointing. In some ways, he's actually been not. He's actually been all right. He's actually been slightly better on labor than I thought he would be. He was the first president to sitting president to be on the picket line with protesters. Yes, he did shut down the railroad protesters, but then he quietly met their demands behind the scenes, which, by the way, like, why isn't the Biden administration, like, the Biden campaign team, I should say, I don't know why they didn't put more emphasis on that, because a lot of people still think, like, Biden killed the railroad union and that's the end of it. No, he actually, I'm pretty sure he actually quietly sorted that out behind the scenes, but the Biden campaign didn't try to get any positive coverage for it. Like, what? Do they want to win this thing or not? Or do they have money on fucking Trump? Sometimes I wonder, but yeah, that's just my point. My overall point in this is, yes, Trump, yes, Biden sucks, but Trump is so much worse. He really fucking is. And yes, Biden, if you're a lefty, he's terrible on this Palestine and Israel conflict. But as I said, um, aside from a few Democrats in the House who fucking isn't, let's be real, and I just think letting Trump win wouldn't solve that. Again, like I said, it would make it worse if anything. And B, I just think Trump would be so much worse for um, reproductive rights and for LGBT rights and for the courts as well. Like I said, if Hillary had won in 2016, we would have a 6-3 Democratic court instead of a 6-3 Republican court. As someone who voted for Jill Stein in 2016, I know now regret that vote because because if Hillary had won, we would still have Roe v. Wade today. You know, and that's another thing. If Trump wins, he's gonna stack not only Supreme Courts but all the lower courts as well with his cronies. He's gonna fucking stack his cabinet and like the Justice Department and all that with his fucking fart sniffing cronies that fucking follow around and sniff his farts and kiss his ass all day. You know, and I do genuinely think he's a threat to American democracy. Again, are we gonna have concentration camps on like fucking day one and where Trump is locking us and rounding up all his political enemies? No, probably not. But can Trump erode American democracy and civil liberties even more? Of course he can. You know, of course he can. So, like, I don't know. It just seems foolhardy to me. But hey, defending champ, I'm glad you're watching this. Uh, you probably disagreed with everything I said, but what can I say? I welcome all dissenters. I'm not like Donald Trump, where like the slightest bit of like criticism is gonna make me like want to say, "Get the hell out of here! You're fired." you know. I welcome all dissenting opinions, even from people I disagree with politically. So, well, I'll be honest. I did throw it in your face a lot, and like I did like start arguments with you and shit, and for that I'm sorry, but I guess just to end this point, yes, Joe Biden sucks, but uh, of course, straight men are allowed in this chat. Hey, you never know. I might try to convert you. No, I'm kidding. Uh, of course, defending champ. It's a safe way. I can't talk. It's a safe space for everyone, gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, cisgender, non-binary or non-gender conforming, black, white, Asian, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, whatever. Like, everyone's welcome here. You're only trans on Tuesdays? Well, good for you. To, and you're Hispanic on Wednesdays? Well, good for you as well. You're, to borrow one of your people's phrases, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Yeah, but that's just all I have to say. Yeah, subscribe to this channel or don't. But like this video or dislike it, whatever. Comment down below if you want, and yeah, that's it. See you next time.